This is how to use multiple limit switches by Surya Shakamori. First, gather these 6 components: an Arduino cable, a breadboard, an LED, an Arduino cables, and of course the limit switches. A limit switch is comprised of 3 different pins. The first pin, C, on the very right, is used as the input for 5V. Then there's NO, which is the 5V carries through the limit switch when the button is pressed, and then NC, where the 5V is always traveling through the limit switch. In this way, a limit switch acts similar to like 2 wires touching together. Here's a switching diagram to show the wiring of the limit switch in Arduino. A common mistake is not including at least a 220 ohm resistor that's hooked up to the limit switch. I used an LED as the main function when the limit switch is pressed, but this can be virtually anything. It can be a motor, a servo, anything you can think of. Here are just 2 images of what the wiring should look like in real life. Here you can see that the colors aren't really coordinated, but you can get the main idea. Here's a screenshot of the code I used to demonstrate my limit switch, an LED. Here I set the limit switch as an input at pin 2 and an LED as an output at pin 13. And then whenever the limit switch was high, which means that it was pressed, then I would write the LED as high also, therefore turning it on. Or else I would just turn off the LED, as you can see in the else statement. Alternatively, you can switch out the digital write LED high to whatever you want so that it would do your desired function, like turn a motor. Here is a video of a single limit switch hooked up and working. Now to deal with multiple limit switches. It's as easy as hooking up the end of one, or the blue, to the middle of another, or the yellow. This essentially joins it and makes it into one limit switch. And you can do this for an unlimited amount, but I decided to only choose 2. Here's both limit switches working in conjunction. So that's all there is to limit switches.